a bit longer to get through, but everyone else is really going to be looking to get inside Relay as quick as possible.
Yeah, Third Impact, who we're watching right now, they are currently sat in 7th place in this lobby overall. So inside that top 10, in one of those qualification spots. And it kind of comes into the psyche of a team now. This is where IGL needs to really have his wits about him, not only in-game, but out-of-game as well. How many points do we need? What is the cutoff? How do we play this next lobby?
Thankfully, because you've got that 4th game, you can still have a little bit of freedom with how you approach this match number 3. Personally, if I was to be in IGL with a team, I would just play my standard game in match number 3 because of the points disparity between.
Disappearing across the horizon as well, as JMW now has to back down from this battle and maybe wait on a teammate to do some damage himself, but Painless is going to be taken down to very, very low health, and now he's trying to scarper out behind the rock now, but it looks like they are going to have some problems, and they're going to be taken down.
Yeah, Painless the last remaining player, but it's going to be, again, the aggression from Wyvern. As soon as they smell any sign of weakness, if they crack a shield, they are straight on you. They don't give you time to think. They don't give you time to use your shield cells, let alone a battery. As now Rogue, again, still having this long-distance battle. It's just an ammo waster, to be honest, but it's also a resource waster as well, if you can hit some good shots.
If you can somehow eke out this battle when, though, you do have control of that choke point to re-enter that circle when it does move ever so slightly more centrally. Great shot there with the longbow. 58 damage through that window. We've seen Teamfire holding down this position, such a strong position to overlook all of these buildings. Watson fences up as well, that's going to stop anyone trying to encroach on their land. We've seen already in our game number 1 how effective those Watson fences are, not just at holding down certain positions, but also in helping you on the way to a 1v1 win.
So I'm thinking about these other teams that are kind of on that 10-point line, that are within the top 10, but they're very vulnerable. If we can check in with Reciprocity and CLG at some point. Reciprocity down to just 1. Snipe Down's banner still available, but it doesn't look like Frex is going to be going for that whatsoever. Instead, he is very much going to be playing for placement at this point as the circle starts to move even closer towards Relay.
Yeah, a couple of kills on the board though for Reciprocity, so at least they're going to have a little bit of change coming out of this 3rd game of our losers bracket final. CLG now moving into a great position. Obviously the northern aspect of this rotation is going to be absolutely great for them as well with their normal artillery drop.
Yeah, they didn't get many kills in the previous game, but they were able to get that top 3 placement when it was close to artillery, and I guess any sort of circle that finishes northernly, they're going to be happy about, because CLG are good at rotating early. Yes, they are a very heavily they have a lot of slaying ability within this squad, but they know how to play smart, and I think having that balance is very important in Apex Legends.
So 19 squads remaining at the moment. Let's see Alistar now. One of the unsung heroes as far as teams are concerned yesterday. Taking this supply ship means they're going to have some angles to rotate in down. Smartly not using the Pathfinder ultimate and just using the ropes provided to now move in onto this little compound just outside of the wetlands area. But they are going to have to rotate in. 55 seconds left on the clock. So quiet at the moment around Kings Canyon. You can see one player being down there, and it was Wyvern again in the feed. The longbow this time being the weapon of choice.
Complexity still having this fight as well. Like, they're just back and forth at the moment, watching both sides, using zip lines to ensure that they have a little bit of high ground. They are just inside this circle, which means they can gatekeep. You just keep eyes on anyone that is going to be rotating late. There's not that many teams outside of the circle, though. Everyone's done pretty well at getting inside. And here's Wyvern again, just situating themselves on the edge. Even though Wyvern are very good at getting into the center of the circle, I think they like playing on the edge. I think they like hunting teams down.
14 seconds until we see that 3rd ring encroach. And this is where I'm really expecting some action to kick off. We're seeing some beautiful longbow shots there. Can't quite connect. Or want to get that down, to get that knock, but the shields are going to be depleted.
Circle's coming in, and Teamfire are starting to rain down fire on this opposition team. Let's see how the communications are with these boys.
On roof, you see him? Yep. Still right back here. They don't have zip. That team doesn't have zip yet. I'm coming over here just so I can get fucking heals. Those two teams like are going to fight. There's literally no way they don't. Yeah. It could be really good for us because the first thing that tries to move might get fucked. The reason.
You heard the comms there, and one thing I really wanted to point out there is the ability of Team Fire to not only keep track of their own inventory, but also the ultimate of the team that they're overlooking. You know that Pathfinder didn't have a zipline available, so knew that they weren't going to be able to escape that compound with any particular ease. And now we're going to pop over to Wyvern once again. 18 squads now remaining. 1 minute 30 until we see that next circle move. A lot of bodies still here on Kings Canyon. A lot of points still available for one of these squads.
Ultimate management is something that goes under the radar, I think, in your normal ranked game of Apex. You need to have an accelerant available from someone, because not only is Watson's ult so important, but so's that Wraith ult later with that portal.
This is a huge battle here for Rogue, because they're currently outside of that top 10 placing. They need to win this battle and hold this compound. They're outside of the circle right now, and if 60 seconds pass and they're still caught in that circle, they're going to come under all sorts of damage, and they could be potentially exposed to a pretty poor finish again. But they're doing a great job now of raining down the fire, and it looks like they have the advantage momentarily in the battle.
Thermites have done so well just to reposition and allow them to get fire from several different angles. Lyric's getting aggressive. He's the last one remaining. Gets the knock. Is he going to be able to get another one?
Dropped goes down. He does get dropped, and now Lyric is trying desperately to dodge and dive and stay alive. However, he goes down, and that is a huge win, not only in the context of this particular game in the losers bracket final, but potentially in the losers bracket final as a complete set.
Well, just a few eliminations can be massive if you consider the fact Rogue are only 1 point behind 10th place. Every kill is going to matter. Every point could be the difference to you going to the grand final or not.
A quick note there in the feed, I just caught the Frex, even as a solo player, managed to pick up another elimination just before he was taken down. So another point on the board there for Reciprocity after having 2 members fall so early in this game. But now we're really starting to see the action kick off. 15 squads remaining now, and you can see that circle's going to reduce by around 50%. We are starting to get close. We're starting to get a little bit uncomfortable as far as positioning is concerned on this map.
Well, G2 getting involved with Windstrike there, and also I see members of Team Secret being eliminated from the server as well, and it's still Team Fire with this high ground, just being a nuisance, griefing everyone with these longbows.
Yeah, and they're going to be in position for the next circle as well. They really are set up not only for position of, you know, being able to 3P so many of these teams that are going to be rotating, but also for those placement points. Now we're seeing the shot starter fly in here. Third impact, they're going to have 1 player go down, and now they're just desperately trying to survive, desperately trying to get those shield cells off.
Third impact just aren't looted for these fights. Unfortunately, they've rotated in a little bit late. They haven't been able to pick up any decent armor, and they're just sitting ducks. They're just desperately trying to survive, hoping that other teams are eliminated first so they can at least get the top 10 placement.
And Complexity have managed to find some high ground as well. However, they are going to have to move as that next circle does encroach. So 12 squads remaining. You can see On Fire finally picking up some downs and some eliminations of their own, having held that high ground for so long. The Incense goes in now, and this might be an opportunity here for Complexity to maybe take advantage, close that distance, and try and take this compound.
Here's Wyvern again, though. They are being griefed by so many different teams. It's almost like everyone wants to take this compound away from them. It's just Karen P left on his own, does get the elimination, can swap shields if he wants, but instead, just apply that first aid, just revive. Nice and calm for Wyvern yet again.
Succubus picking up a kill on a Na'Vi member there in the feed as well. 11 squads now remaining. We're getting down to our final 10. And one of those teams are Space Station Gaming. They are rooted to the bottom of the table as it stands. But a big performance from them here, which is looking like could be on the cards. And they could be rocketing it up towards those top 10 positions.
I mean, a big performance, you need a top 5, but you need to be getting kills as well. It's not going to be enough just getting one good placement within these 4 matches. We've seen teams fall out of this competition, even with top 3 placements, not getting enough kills on the board.
And you can see at the moment MVP, who we were watching momentarily there, they had the circle in their favour, and now Space Station Gaming, this could be absolute disaster for them. They'd managed to get towards the end game, but they didn't manage to get many points on the board. That is bad news, and again it's Wyvern just racking up kills.
They were just able to get 10th, I think, so at least they would have been able to secure 2 points, but now here comes Complexity. They smell blood, they want to get involved, but Wyvern, they love the fights.
They will not back down here, Wyvern, and now Complexity are forced to back up. That is the fear that this Korean roster puts into their opponents. They're going to be burning him here and desperately trying to stay alive with that Wraith Q. Tries to get out. The ring is closing in as well. And Selly might be the final player alive here, but manages to take some down on his way.
Oh my god, he's got the Peacekeeper as well. Does miss the shot, does have the self-revive, but it's going to be noticed, it's going to be spotted, going to get taken down. But they've done their work. They've been able to get big kills, and they're going to be through.
And now Team on the fire. Still up on this high ground location. They've managed to relocate ever so slightly, as we're going to see it collapse in now onto these buildings, which are just outside Relay. CLG, again, the early rotation from them, paying dividends. Couple of kills on the board for them as well as now a top 5 placement. We're into our final 5.
There's a tiny corner in this building that will actually still be within the circle. I think that was the communication from CLG, but who's still sat in prime position? MVP.
The only problem is, they have been sat here for a while, but ammo might become an issue. They might have to take a fight here towards the end game just to try and make sure that they can fight.
I think they've got enough ammo to wait for that final circle to come in because they are in the best position, and because they have played so much Relay, because Relay is their drop location, they knew exactly where this final circle was going to be heading.
MVP managed to pick up a down there on one of the Urban on fire players. And now with that high ground, the wingman still doing damage here, and you can see they're having to try and stick this revive, but the Hassel is still coming in. Look at the fire coming in from MVP. They know when they have their advantages, and now look at it just raining down. Great play there from MVP. Team Fire just had absolutely no chance of getting out of that position.
That's where the benefit of something like a lifeline would have come in handy, and that's why we have seen a couple of teams try that throughout the tournament, but it seems like everyone has agreed now on this composition more or less.
3 squads remaining now. MVP are one of those squads. They've been here for the entirety of the game as that ring now collapses. Rast with his reticule. Firmly positioned over that exit. He knows that there's team in there. He can see those Watson fences. Look at set up now, just blocking this door. CLG, oh my word.
As I said, the tiniest corner still within the ring, so now you can use Wraith's portal to get you out. You dance around to make sure that when you go through the portal, you are avoiding the ring damage for as long as possible, and you start to set up for this final push. And look at this, you're setting up some escape routes now, our MVP, so they can just dance on these zip lines when that circle does come in.
Look how many zip lines set up at the moment for MVP. We were laughing and joking earlier, and so were they, when they were jumping around on those zip lines. What that means is if that battle comes into MVP's compound, or if that circle encloses on it, they're going to be able to jump around. They're going to be such difficult targets to deal with. And Rogue are still in this battle as well. What a performance this is from Rogue, as now we're going to see that push come in. Dropped with the incense, takes the door down. Now they're making their moves.
Still a minute to go, so you don't necessarily need to be pushing. Yes, okay, the Thermite is going to initiate something, but MVP are just going to back away from this. They don't need to take this fight right now. Yes, Rogue have the low ground. They can watch people drop towards them. But when you get into this situation, when there's 3 different squads, it's who do you target? Where are you going to be looking at? They know exactly where CLG are going to be exiting. They're going to be watching this portal from Wraith, but are they then going to get third parties? It's so difficult, and you really have to be listening to your in-game leader when it comes down to this final section.
35 seconds left until this ring collapses. Every single Wraith player in the lobby is getting ready to set up that portal.
And if you want to know why Wraith is so important, this is why. Notice how everyone using that ultimate ability, dancing around, waiting for that right moment, and then we're going to see 3 portals set up in the middle, just so you can survive as long as possible. But there is a little bit of action. That first Wraith does pop out, does try and just plant the first portal. One thing you can do, put a portal next to another portal, and maybe they'll go through and go back into the red.
And you can see here as well, I love what Rogue are doing. They've actually set up their portal so that no one can get out of that side of the door here for MVP. I'm not sure if they're aware that they're not actually still inside, but CLG now make the push. The Peacekeeper shot lands hard, and CLG are going to be losing bodies, and Rogue are going to be picking up kills.
This is where grenades come in now, and this is where it's really important that you manage your heals as well.
Grenades come in, circle is closing. We're on board with Huskers here from Rogue, trying to land some shots. The R99 drilling so many players, and here comes the push now from MVP.
Rogue doing all they can, and they get the champion as well. An amazing push at the end from both teams, and unfortunately it's just not enough. When Rogue were waiting, they set up their portals better, they had more utility, and they